The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. Steve Murray here with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. Good to have everybody here on a bright Tuesday morning. Fat Tuesday, I think it is. Preamble to all kinds of good things happening tomorrow, including Valentine's Day. So great to have you with us here today. I know that a lot of folks are kind of hitting their stride after the new year and after the holidays and getting back into it in a serious fashion now. We've seen a lot of good things happen. Production is up, business is up, calls are up, so that's all good. So for you to take some time out of that busy schedule today and join us means a lot to us here at IAM. So we want to deliver to you the best training that we possibly can, and part of that is what we do every Tuesday morning with the coach, Dave Pemper. Dave, of course, does coaching around business development. He does coaching around a 401k seminar. And of course, today we're going to talk about Social Security claiming strategies and talk a little bit about how seminar marketing around Social Security claiming strategies has been so effective for us. In fact, probably the most effective seminar approach that we have had in our 32 plus years, and we've only, I guess, been doing seminars for about 20 of those. But over the last 5 or 6 years, the regular successes that we've seen on the Social Security side have really been heartening for our group, and I think have made some real difference in a lot of our producers' lives. So should be a good webinar here today. Always great to have Dave aboard with us. A couple things I want to mention really quickly before we get started. So first, of course, good to keep in mind that if a couple polls will pop up and along the way here, and if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in, and we will get them answered as quickly as we possibly can. When the polls come up, answer those as quickly as you can as well, and we'll just keep moving here along at a good pace. So as always, before we get started with our webinar, I want to bring a couple of things to your attention. Part of what I do here is making sure we have the right incentives in place, making sure that those incentives are compliant, I guess, as best we can. So we were able to keep the referred producer program in place post the DOL requirements. We're really happy with that because that is ongoing for us, been a great source of new producers, and also been a great way to reward folks that are regular producers with IAMs that like what we do and are willing to recommend us. So very simple program. So you decide that somebody might be a good fit with IAMs, you give us a call, give us their name. We always appreciate if you maybe give your referee a quick call and let them know we'll be calling, but that's not necessary. You can simply give us their name. We'll do everything from there. If they get appointed with us, we'll send you out a check for $50 as an appreciation for the referral. When they do business, we pay an ongoing bonus to you. Keep in mind that that is no money out of their pocket. It's strictly a cash bonus paid to you for the business that they do. And whether it's life, annuity, long-term care, whatever products that they write, there is some RPM that gets paid out to you. We pay those checks out generally quarterly, some of the biggest checks that we send out, actually, which warms my heart. And in fact, some folks we even send their checks out monthly because they've gotten large enough that it just makes sense. And again, those are some of our favorite checks to send out. So take advantage of that RPM program. If you know someone that might be a good fit for IAMS, whether you like what we do on the training side, whether it's webinars or this thing we do out on site with the academies, or like what we do with our trips, our training trips, maybe where we are product-wise, is, a lot of people love us just because we answer the phone, on a regular basis with some good people that can help you right away. If you think of anyone that might benefit from that type of service, our certain hope is that you would give us a call, give us a name, and let us take it from there. New producer builders, these are 3 levels. I'm going to draw your attention to a couple of them here because they're pertinent to today's webinar. At the 300,000 point level, you can see that we will get you out the Social Security program that we support through Horse's Mouth, along with a 3,000 piece mailing. So we'll get you in that Social Security seminar business. At the 500,000 point level, you can see that we increase that mailing size slightly. We give you the Social Security claiming information with Horse's Mouth, and then we also add that one-on-one coaching from Dave Pimper. And it's really not just Dave that does the coaching and does the assistance along the way. It's Dave Pimper and his group. So they do a lot of work with the folks and making sure that they've got the right venues, helping them get the mailer set up, helping them get the reservation line set up, putting everything in place beyond just training you around the pertinent details of Social Security claiming so that you can kind of be the expert in your area. So it's A to Z. Really think key to success, and that's part of our new producer builders program that we have. We know that the folks that come to IAMS, certainly the folks that take the time to come to these types of trainings, are regular producers. All we're asking you to do, if you haven't been with IAMS a while, is shift some business over to us and let us get you into the Social Security claiming business. And our experience has been it can make a real difference in your life, and you'll be pleased with the processes. Great back office support here. You can read the things that we do as well as I can. I would say just real quickly about that, because I want to keep moving here as well, is that the ability to call in and get somebody live on the phone every time that you call and get directed in just the right way that you need to, or maybe even get the answer right from the person who answers the phone. I often pick up the phone, and guys, that do business with us say, well, what do you do to answer the phone? I said, because it's ringing, because that's what we do here. We make sure that that's a priority for everyone in this office. We have a 3-ring guarantee, and our goal is to get that phone picked up before the end of the second ring, and it doesn't matter whether it's myself or our founder Charles or somebody in accounting or somebody in supply or somebody on the marketing side. There's going to be somebody that's going to pick that phone up and get you directed and get your question answered for you, which can be really a key when you're out there doing the hard part of the work that you guys are doing there. So take advantage of that. We've got great back office support here. Again, if I stand us up next to my competitors, they would be the first ones to agree that nobody does that better than IAMS. We put a lot of effort behind it. We think it's important. We kind of refer to it as like a captive-like level of support to independent producers. Hopefully you, if you haven't felt the difference yet, hopefully you'll do some business with us and you will feel the difference. Marketing solutions that we do here, and I know a lot of our competitors do some level of this as well. I like to think that we're better than most. A lot of it is because of how dedicated we are to it. We think that we can do a lot of this stuff for producers that can easily make a difference and kind of start that flow of folks that are calling you that maybe you just didn't actively solicit, but maybe your marketing worked for you, whether it's around Social Security claiming or just your people maybe see a billboard of you, or people see your website, or people see something from you on Facebook. All that stuff can make a lot of difference. It's not hard to do. It's a lot easier to do when you're working with a firm like ours that does it every day for producers. So call on Tasia and the creative team to help you grow your business. For us, that is a cost center. It's not a profit center. So what we're trying to do there is do as much as we can for our producers to get them as successful as they can be, and do as little of that at cost to the producers as possible. We use marketing reimbursement for it. Any way that we can get where we're not having to charge anything for whether it's letterhead, business cards, everything that you need to do to build your image, website, Facebook advertising. We do it all, and we're pretty good at it. To call on Tasia and her team here at the office to try and get that set up in your business. If you haven't looked at the website, I would you can see the little picture there a little bit, and if you go across to where it says IAMS, then it says home, IAMS, products, training, support. Next time you're on our website, go to support and take a look at the IAMS library. Just troll around in there for a second. You'll be amazed by all the information and forms and questionnaires and everything that we've got stockpiled in there for your use. There's some great tools in there, whether it's calculators, and they're all free to be used by anybody associated with IAM. So beyond the other great stuff that we have on that website, that's fairly new. We've had that on there since January. Take a quick look at that and let us know if it's something that's good for you. Retirement Analyzer, take a second, give Marcus a call. If you're looking for a way to where you go in and ask your clients a level of questions and then input the information and then have it spit out kind of, hey, where are you on towards your retirement goals and where are your shortfalls and where do you need to look better to do more and where are you in pretty good shape? The Retirement Analyzer is built to do that in a very clean pictures tell 1,000 words, and they do a nice job with the graphics on that. So you can really sit down with your client and point out the shortfalls. Are they on too much risk? Do they not have enough life insurance? Should they consider some other things? What are their goals, and are they making progress towards them? Is really what the goal of that Retirement Analyzer is, and that really positions you. It gives you the ability to give your clients information that they've never gotten from anyone else in a very succinct manner. Right now, we're making that available to folks that are with IAMS at no cost. So call Marcus, tell him you're interested in looking at that, have him walk you through it, maybe send you a little training link, send you the link to the software, and you can get off and rolling on that. Really great no cost benefit for our producers. IAMS Wealth Management. I'm just going to put a quick poll. If you are looking at becoming an RIA, if you are already a RIA or IAR, and maybe you're not 100% happy with where you're at there, or want to consider some other opportunities, take a look at IAMS Wealth, and I'm going to make that as easy as I can by just shooting up a quick poll here for you. And if you have interest in joining the firm or have interest in even finding out a little bit more about them, then what I urge you to do is take a minute, hit yes on that poll, and Charles will give you a call, walk you through what they do, how they do it. You'll be pleased with the way that we have tried to simplify and kind of take as much of the gray area out of the process as we possibly can, and really put you in a position to be an asset gatherer and be someone that can help your clients kind of get themselves positioned right. We all know the market can get rocky. We've learned that again and again, and we've learned it very recently. So if you want to be part of the IAMS Wealth team and learn a little bit more about how we do what we do, give Charles a call, and you can do that very easily if you'd like, just by hitting yes on that poll, and Charles will give you a call. So very quick response on that. I appreciate that very much. If you are unable to respond because you are simply listening, so don't have the ability to respond on the poll, and you have interest, give me a call. I'd be glad to put you in touch with young Charles. The number is 800-255-5055. Just ask for me, Steve, and I will go ahead and get you set up. Close that poll out. There we go. Another quick poll here for you. If you've been with us in the past on a webinar, we run this poll fairly regularly, and so you know the drill. If you've been to an IAMS Academy, we'd love to have you come out again, but we'd like to keep that spacing at least a couple, 3 years to give new people the chance to come in. The IAMS Life and Annuity Academy really across the industry has gained some acclaim. The reason for that is there's a lot of great information packed into a relatively short period of time, and it is not information about how this product works or how that product works. We do a little of that in there, but mostly it's about sales and marketing. It's kind of the centerpieces. 4 of our top producers that share seminars and ideas and sales approaches and sales systems and software that are all designed to help you grow your business. And I don't know that there's anyone else out there that, in terms of an overall game plan of different means and methods to grow your business from a marketing and sales standpoint, I don't know that there is a better option out there in the industry today than the Annuity Academy with IAM. So I would encourage you, if you haven't been into one and you do have to be appointed with us, and you're appointed with us, then I do encourage you to hit yes on this particular poll. And what will happen if you hit yes is you'll get a registration form and a sample agenda. So what you want to do at that point is go ahead and look over the sample agenda. You'll see that it is jam-packed. You'll see it's jam-packed full of sales, marketing ideas, and ways to grow your business. If that's something that you're interested in, then simply send in the registration form, and we do 4 academies each year. We will give you a call before each one and see if it's a good fit for your schedule. We do take care of your expenses. So we're going to take care of your travel. We're going to take care of your hotel. We're going to take care of your meals and the social part of it as well. So We'd love to have you all join us out there. If you are happy with the way your business is going, and I know, a lot of people saw some pretty good growth in their business in 17, but many of us struggled through 17 as well. So if you're looking for some new ideas to help grow your business, whether that's seminars or some really good ways to go back to current clientele, or some ways to work with current clients and prospects to further grow your business, or Facebook marketing, or maybe you need your website upgraded. There's a lot of different approaches, a lot of different things that can help you get to the levels that you want to, but you got to get started and you got to have some ideas. And that's what the Annuity Academy is really all about. It's going, hearing multiple top producers, hearing some company representatives, hearing some folks from IAMS talk about the different ways that other people have found success, picking out an idea or two that you can take home and off to the races you go. So if you're looking to kind of rejuvenate or renew something in your business, the Academy is going to be a great way to do that. We'd love to host you. We'll have some in Omaha. We do some in Des Moines. And we will have a total of 4 of them before the year is out. Next one is coming up in late March. So hit yes on that if you'd like to come in. We'll get you out the information and we'll get you started. So love to have you join us on that. With that, I'm going to close that poll again. Thank you all very much. You're a great group in terms of voting. We appreciate that. I see that there are a couple of you that are not able to vote, so give me a call at the office here at 800-255-5055. We'll go ahead and get you started on that. Okay, now what I'd like to do, Dave, are you with us? Not yet, it would seem. I'm going to introduce Dave, and while I'm doing that, I will see if we can find out. My guess is that there might be a technical difficulty in getting Dave on, so I will try and get that fixed while we're talking. But while I'm getting a quick call made to Dave, I want to give you all just a little bit of background. So to give you some background on Dave, Dave has been in the business since the very early 80s. He is both securities licensed and insurance licensed. He has been working with us from a coaching standpoint for I want to say probably 11 or 12 years now. And originally when he started coaching with it was simply practice development, and he still does that. More recently, he's added in, by more recently, I mean probably the last 9 years, he's been doing some levels of seminars with us. And then 3 years ago, maybe 3.5 now, added Social Security, really as much as for any reason because I wanted him to, because I knew there was a lot of opportunity for that in our space, and I was hopeful that it would get our folks in front of just the right people, and that has really played out well. What I didn't understand about what was going to happen with that is that seminars are not for everyone. In fact, for some people, they're very, very difficult to get in place. And the Social Security seminars, among all of the seminars that we've ever introduced, are probably the most easy entry-level seminars because it is really very professorial, very teacher-student in terms of the field.
I just want to let you know I'm here. I'm sorry I was a little late.
That's okay. Great, Dave. So with that feel to the seminar that you get on the Social Security claiming side, we've been able to bring some guys into the seminar business that I don't think would have been natural fits for it, and or maybe some folks that didn't think they were natural fits for it that have done really very well with it. So to have Dave and his team and what they can do in terms of getting everything set up and making sure that we're following the right path, that's really just been a super key to our success there. So we're indebted to Dave. A lot of our producers are indebted to Dave for what he's done there and his team. So without further ado, let's turn it over to the coach, Mr. Dave Pimper.
Steve, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And hello, everybody that's on the webinar with us today. Social Security claiming is an interesting subject where most advisors really don't understand all the ins and outs of Social Security claiming, and you really should, because it's such an important income stream for many, many, many near retired and retired individuals. 94% of all people in the United States receive a Social Security benefit. So it isn't like if you go in and think of how many own stock or how many own fixed index annuities or how many own bonds, much more ownership with that forced savings account through their lifetime with Social Security. When you combine that with a proven seminar system, some pretty good things do happen. So like next week, I've got a Social Security workshop. We like to get between 35 and 40 folks. We still have another week left, but we've got, I think, 33 right now between the 2 nights. So we'll have over 40, which is you have that many people that you're talking to, and you offer a free analysis. You're bound to go in and get, 10, 12 appointments, done correctly from the track that we have. If you've done seminars before and you've not had success with them, which is very common, I think one of the reasons is that you don't have someone like myself that's walking you through and coaching you through the process from A through Z. This is certainly a turnkey system. Also, we offer, as part of the system, 5 coaching sessions, and that's how I get paid. So I'm not paid off of your override. I'm not paid off of business you do. I'm paid a coaching fee. And we'll talk more about that, because IAMS, as long as you qualify, the FMO of IAMS, Steve Murray's firm and Charles Hiving's firm, they pay for the majority. Actually, 3/4 of that cost is paid for by the FMO. So they make business by you writing business, and they're trying to increase your production. So as we go on here, if you have any questions whatsoever, certainly go in and type them on in, and we will take them from there. And this is going to take about roughly 30, 35 minutes. The actual presentation itself normally takes about an hour. I would say that's pretty darn close. Steve, can you advance? I don't know why I can't advance this slide for some reason. But if you could help me there, and I'll see if I can take it from here. So Social Security income planning, those are the actual slides that I use. We use a third-party PowerPoint and analysis provider, Horse's Mouth. Costs $512, over 300 pages of reading, and there is some reading, there is some study. And you probably got to put in 4 or 5 hours a week for 4 weeks. So that's maybe 15 to 20 hours to really get the feeling of Social Security. But baby boomers, that's the area that we're really looking here, is the baby boomers. Okay, and we go to the next slide. For some reason, I have a little trouble on getting those slides to roll to the next one. Now, what happens is that you have to look at the age demographics that we're looking at, 58 through 67. That's who we mail to. That's pre-retired and just retired. But people come to those types of seminars. First of all, they're not product-driven. They're very educational in nature. They don't feel threatened. But they're asking questions like, when should I apply? Or how do I coordinate my benefits with my spouse? Or they kind of know if they delay, they're going to get more. If they take early, they're going to get less. A lot of people don't take a divorced benefit, and they could. They might be able to. If it's kind of if the triple play is achieved, they can. And the new Social Security laws, actually the Bipartisan Budget Act of 2015, did change, phase out, file and suspend, and restricted is getting a phase out as we speak. But will it be there for me? People are, one of the big things is they're thinking, hey, better get it as soon as I can, because if I don't, it might be gone. This came on out in 2015. Popular Social Security strategies, NICS. Actually, there was a phase out of 6 months of time, file and suspend, but there's an 8-year phase out of restricted application. But many more articles like that than there's ever been. So why Social Security maximization or optimization seminars? Why? I'm going to tell you right now, very few people, including advisors, really understand Social Security inside and out. The target area are the folks who have money. When we're uncovering, which is one of the slides, it's called the 5 pillars of income. You've got wages, you've got pensions, you've got investable assets, and if there's qualified money there, you got RMDs. It's how Social Security complements those other 4 pillars of income, but a very good demographics as far as money is concerned. I'm not as concerned about this, but some people don't like to buy people that are just there for the meal. Yeah, so there's no meals here. There's much more education And what happens is that in that much much lesser education, or excuse me, much more education, what happens is that people feel that this is not just a product dump or a product push, but we are trying to help them through their questions with Social Security. Now, I always say the prospects need us more than we need them. Is that true? Well, no, I'm not going to say that's true, but I do know that people will kind of hunt you down to get that report. And that comes part of the package. Higher conversion rate, yeah, I think there is, than a dinner seminar. Not that I'm against dinner seminars, but it seems to be quite high. It's a hot topic. Transitioning from Social Security to closing business is a little tricky. It's a little double-sided, fine-edged sword. But we've got a track that works very well, and we need to know what those other income sources. Something that Social Security doesn't. When they give advice, actually they can't give advice, but when they give information, it could have the client's best interest at heart. They're trying to help, but they're not uncovering the items that we are. So that's why the Social Security workshop is fairly timely. Will it be there for me? Well, just to give you an idea, the trust fund right now has over $2.8 trillion in it, and so people say, hey, it's broke. I mean, the trust fund has not run a deficit since 1983, and it probably won't this year. Pretty soon it will, and it's going to go down pretty quickly. In fact, it's going to be extinguished probably in 2033 or 2034. But the neat thing about this is that trust fund has been borrowed from. Yes, it has. It has IOUs against it. Yes, it has, from the U.S. government. But what backs the dollar bill in your pocket? Full faith and credit of the U.S. government. Same thing that backs Social Security, that's IOU'd. There are certainly some government bonds, but what backs a government bond? Full faith and credit of the U.S. government. There's no hard asset that backs that government bond. Yeah, so it has the same backing that the dollar bill does. Same backing that a government bond has. Yeah, so it's safe. I mean, unless the U.S. goes under, then it isn't going to make any difference. Your dollar in your pocket wouldn't be worth anything. Yeah. So what happens here is that, remember, we're a pay-as-you-go system. Payroll taxes, the 6.2% you put in, the 6.2% your employer, or if you're self-employed, 6.2 times 2, 12.4%. That's how much, for every $100,000 you're putting in $12,400, that's paying for Social Security taxes. So even if the trust fund went down to zero, you'd still have between 75 and 79% of your money coming in as a steady stream of income from the government annuity of Social Security. Okay. Now, full retirement age is one of the 3 important ages or time periods for a Social Security recipient. So if you're born from 1943 to 1954, your full retirement age is 66. 43 to 54. Doesn't make a difference if you're born on the 2nd of January or the 31st of December. It's that whole year, it's all full retirement age is 66. Now, I was born in 55, April 55. Mine's 66 years and 2 months. If you're born 1960 or later, the latest your full retirement age can be is 67, as of now. So basically, everyone you see is going to be between 66 and 67 for full retirement age. Another, that's called FRA, full retirement age. There's another important date. It's the first age that you can start taking Social Security. What age is that? If you guess 62, you're correct. Age 62. That's as early as you can't take it at 61. Now, there are some exceptions on survivor benefits and disability, but I'm talking about for the average American, you can't take till you're 62. And you get it at a reduced rate. What's the other date that's very important? When you have to start taking Social Security or you just lose the benefit, age 70. So there's an 8-year span from 62 to 70 of the time period that you can elect to take your benefit. The longer you wait, the higher the benefit is. Okay, if there's any questions on that, certainly let me know. Now, I will tell you, this is interesting. I do not take questions at the workshop. And I tell people, which is partly true, that there is just so much information. Almost all questions revolve around their specific situation, individual situation, and it probably may not have any kind of insight or advantage for all the other people listening, because it doesn't really doesn't fit their needs. But the second reason I don't is because I don't know all the answers, especially when I started. So that's know that you're not going to answer questions. And if someone answers a question, I just say, hey, you forgot. You're not a good student. No questions. And then everybody laughs. Yeah. So if you take it 62 instead of 66, a full retirement age, yeah, you're going to get 75% of your benefit. You're not going to get full benefit. It's reduced, but you get your benefit faster. How about if you wait to 66? You get all. So if your benefit is $2,000 at 66, 25% deduction of $2,000 is $500. You're going to get $1,500 at age 62. And if you wait later than full retirement age, then it grows at guaranteed 8% a year, plus cost of living. And anybody know what the cost of living raise was this year? It's done annually with Social Security benefits, 2%. Highest in 6 or 7 years. So you're guaranteed to get 10%. And you know what? As long as you're going to live long enough, or your spouse is going to live long enough with your benefit, where can you get a guaranteed 10% for a return on your money or an income stream with a government guarantee? Can you say nowhere? That's right. That's right. But 40% of the people take it 62. Only like 3% of the people wait to 70. I'm waiting till 70. I mean, I can't. Like this year, I got better than a 10% return on my money because the market was screaming. But normally, it does not. It's ups and downs. This is guaranteed and consistent upon your life expectancy. So, full retirement age, FRA, 66 to 67, 62 the earliest you can take out a reduced benefit, 70, you've got an increased benefit. If you take early, it's called an actuarial reduction. If you wait later, it's called a delayed retirement credit, DRC. Now, there are a little bit of ins and outs to this, but I'm going to keep it kind of vanilla. And if we're training, then I kind of tell you this, the ins and outs. And I'll tell you right now, if you don't know Social Security claiming and you're competing against Dave Pimper, then I always, whether they bring it up or not, I always say, hey, have you thought about when you're going to take Social Security? And they might say, well, we've just started thinking about that. And I'll say, you know what? I have an expertise in that arena. I bet and I'm just doing this hypothetically, but your Edward Jones broker, your UBS broker, your Merrill Lynch broker, your bank broker, your Ameritrade over-the-phone broker, I bet they don't know of what I know how to help you. Yeah, that's strong. That's strong. That breaks a lot of ties, I guarantee you. But here's what happens. Let's say you got John's, and PIA, that stands for primary insurance amount. That's your amount at FRA, full retirement age. So John's PIA is $2,000, Jane's PIA is $800. Say they're both full retirement age, just for the sake of it. What happens is they're both going to take it 62. Well, what happens is that John can take all of his. He gets $2,000. I said they're going to take it 66. Excuse me, full retirement age. They're both 66. John takes his 2,000, and Jane takes her 800, or she has the option that she can go in and she can take half of John's. Well, half of John's, half of 2,000 is 1,000. Well, Jane's better to let hers drop and then take half of his, isn't it? You bet it is. So she's got the option. All of hers are half of her husband's, or vice versa. Of course, it's gender neutral with Social Security. Now, with divorce spouse benefits, I call it if the stars line up and you've got the triple play, then all of a sudden it's one of the most flexible, advantageous benefit that you can get from Social Security. First of all, your marriage had to last for 10 years or longer. person receiving the divorce spouse benefits, they cannot be remarried at the time. They can't be married. They have to be unmarried. And the ex has to be at least age 62. So, marriage lasted 10 years, check mark. I'm currently unmarried, check mark. Made no difference if you got divorced, got remarried, got divorced. When you're going to apply for the ex-spouse, you're unmarried. And the ex-spouse is at least 62. So what happens here is that if the divorce was more than 2 years ago, the ex-spouse does not need to have filed for benefits. If it's within that, then they do, okay? But here's how it works. Basically, you can go in and even use each other. Say you're divorced, unmarried. Say you're both divorced and unmarried. You can actually go in. She can use his benefit for the spousal benefit. He can use her benefit for the spousal benefit. You can both take off of each other, but you can basically use your ex as if you were still married to them. That's pretty cool. And a lot of people let that benefit go by the wayside. They don't take advantage of it. Now, survivor benefits, what happens here is that from a survivor benefit standpoint, you could go in, and when someone passes, you've got some options of what you can do with the highest benefit. So Joe and Julie are married. Both are over full retirement age, okay? So Joe's benefit is $2,000. Julie's benefit is $1,200, okay? Now, who normally passes first, the man or the woman in a marriage? Who normally dies first? The man does, doesn't he? You know I say why? Because he elects to. That's a joke. No, the guy just dies first. My dad died at 82. My mom's 94. Get a load of this. Last year at 93, my mom had a total knee replacement. Worked great. She did the other one 2 Mondays ago, a week and a half ago. She did her other one at 94. And of course, my mom's benefit was small. My dad's benefit was pretty big. Mom jumped up, so she could take all of her $1,200. But if Joe dies or the husband dies, she jumps, throws hers away, and goes into the $2,000 benefit. So there still is a lesser benefit for the family because Joe was at $2,000, Julie was at $1,200. That's $3,200. But instead of just going all the way down to $1,200, all of a sudden she jumps up to Joe's. The interesting thing about this is that you have to report this to the Social Security to get the added benefit. If you don't, you lose it. And no kidding, I had a lady that 7 years ago came in, it was about 3 years ago, but for 7 years, she never jumped up to her deceased husband's benefit. And we went on in. We actually got 6 months of retroactive benefit. But you know what? She lost out on like $33,000 by not jumping up to that. It's not done automatically. In fact, the Social Security probably wants you to forget it so they don't have to pay out that benefit. But that survivor benefit, it's important that you go in, of course, and let Social Security know exactly that you want that extra benefit. Now, coordinating spousal benefits, if you go back to the Bipartisan Budget Act of 2015, file and suspend was phased out in 6 months. That's done. It's not coming back. But everyone's heard of that. But restricted application is another kind of it's a spousal type benefit, and it's much more used than file and suspend. Even file and suspend is much more known. But about 80% of the time you use restricted application. Now, file and suspend is done, but restricted application's here. So I know this is complicated, but stay with me on this. I'm going to walk you through this. And of course, if we're in one of our 5 coaching sessions, we're coaching, then you're asking questions, you're reading. We've got 3 paperback books from Amazon. They cost about $10 each that are simplistic books, but good books. Horse's Mouth has got 200 pages of a great read, all about the new Bipartisan Budget Act. Everything's up to date. But here's how restricted application works. For hypothetical example, you got Mike and Mary who are 66 years of age. Mike's primary insurance amount is $2,000. Mary's primary insurance amount is $800. Primary insurance amount, PIA, is what it is at age 66, at your full retirement age. Mike's $2,000, Mary's $800. So Mary wants some income coming in for the family, so she takes her benefit at 66. But Mike is going to let his grow. That's great. He gets the guaranteed 8% a year plus cost of living. Super. But with restricted application, here's what he can do. He's going to get an extra $400 a month, $4,800 a year. How's he going to do that? Mary starts hers, which she has to for this to work. Mike has to be at least 66 or older, which he is. He starts his in the eyes of Social Security, then he stops his. So he's not receiving the benefit, but he triggered it off. Now he has a spousal benefit available to him. He goes in and takes half of Mary's $800. He takes $400. He gets $400 a month. That $400 a month or $4,800 a year, over $19,000 in 4 years, you guys, that's free money. And very, very, very few people ask for that free money. They just turn it down because they don't have the education. But people who come to our workshops, they do. Advisors that I coach, they understand that. We spent quite a bit of time on this because that can get complicated, and I know that it is. And I know not every part of this goes over your head. That's okay. When we're coaching together in those 45-minute coaching sessions, or any time after that you want to call me, you can and talk within reason. Yeah, but that's called restricted application. And if you qualify, it's just like Cinderella slipper, boy. It just fits perfectly. Okay. Now, what can Social Security personnel do down at the SSA office? What can they do and can't do? Well, they can give your best benefit right now, your best individual benefit right now. They can't project like file and suspend or restricted application. No, believe it or not, they can't offer advice. And I know that sounds incredible, but here comes right from their claim form, number D. So provide enough information so that claimants can make informed choices, but do not give advice. On the front of my door, it says Dave Pemper, financial advisor. So if a person comes in and says, hey, can I have some financial advice? No, sorry. I can do a lot of things, but I can't give you that. Is that bizarre? But Social Security does not want that liability. You know why? Because they don't know about their assets, their income streams, their longevities. There's a lot of things that go in to Social Security claiming, more than just like in the old days of your mom and dad or grandma and grandpa. When they turned 62, they took it, or when they retired, they took it. Now people are actually planning, maximizing, and optimizing their Social Security benefit. Can they get that true optimization information from Social Security Administration? No, because they can't give advice. As bizarre as that sounds. Now, this slide I don't have per se. I do have the one on the left, but it doesn't show the evaluation form where they can check yes and no. But I put it on here because the better job you do of this kind of 5 pillars of income, the better job you're going to get of signing people up for a consultation. So I talk about the 5 pillars of income. Remember I told them before, work, pensions, I have income producing assets and RMDs, unqualified, and the Social Security. And I say Social Security is the worst water cooler talk, corporate water cooler talk you can get. Hey, Frank, I took it 62 and you should too. That's just like saying, hey, Frank, I love the color violet and you should too. I like Brussels sprouts and you should too. It's a personal choice. Absolutely it is. And so I explain to people that also, you know what, maybe you'd consider if you retire not taking Social Security and letting it grow, guarantee 10% this year with the 8% of cost of living. Where could you get that? I mean, look at the market here as of late. Market was down over 10%. Now it's down about 7% for the year. The 7% we were ahead. Now we're down. We're down like 1.5 or 2% right now. Not Social Security. So it's how you coordinate your other income sources with Social Security being the most flexible. Horse's Mouth, we've elected to go outside for third party. It's going to cost $512. But for that, you can go in. There's a question and answer that she'll get back within a day. Of course, you can certainly shoot it to me too. There is a PowerPoint presentation, and we've changed it some, but it comes from Horse's Mouth. Fit and reviewed material if your securities license. The analysis, that really kind of hooks the appointment, is that that's a free analysis, and it's all in color. Very impressive. Very impressive. If you got any questions whatsoever, certainly go in and put them on up. It says, this is myself, a little bit of chest pounding, but I do have expertise in seminar marketing. Actually, it's 469 workshops I've done since the mid-'80s, and I've got the 70th and 71st coming next week in Social Security. By trying to make a complicated subject much easier to understand, the double benefit that people that take Social Security claiming seminar marketing, the big thing is that they're going to get in front of people that they can do business with, qualified prospects. But the second ancillary benefit is you learn Social Security. And there aren't a lot of guys or gals in this business who are coaching Social Security claiming for $195. So I get paid $750, but $555 if you qualify comes from IAMS. They cut me a check. So $195, and you can use me as long as you're writing business through IAMS, whether it be this seminar or down the road, you can always call me, and I can help you with questions on Social Security. It's a turnkey system, no doubt about it. It isn't perfect, but it's certainly a good track. It keeps you out of the ditch. Proven language to uncover assets, and you get about 25 or 30 attachments, plus you get a video of me doing the actual presentation, and you can certainly kind of see my mannerisms and what I say, and then ongoing with myself, with Lynn and Amy, my two administrators here in the office. So we help you be a little bit of your back office. So I'm going to shoot this on over to Steve Murray, then he'll bring up a slide that will say if you'd like to get more information on Social Security coaching, but it says procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. It never comes, does it? Tomorrow never comes. Don't let that happen to you. If you heard something today that you said, hey, this might help my marketing, and there's a cost to it. Hardly anything in life is free, but making an investment in yourself through financial marketing, if you get in front of qualified prospects, that's the name of the game. And I'd love to talk to you. Steve, I will shoot this on over to Steve Murray, co-owner of IAMS, and then you can take it kind of from there, Steve.
Thank you, Dave. Great stuff as always. I want to dwell on something for just a second. I'm not a great mathematician, but think of that 500, almost 500 seminars in Dave's background. That's what on average about 20 a year for 25 years or so. So you can't underestimate the value of that experience. And the thing that probably sets Dave apart with all that experience is what he knows is that things are different, things change. There are all kinds of little peccadillos and situations that, having his assistance and help along the way can make a ton of difference. And following that pattern, Dave said it's not perfect. His system is not perfect. But I think most of the guys that work with Dave would tell you for what they need, it has been almost perfect. I mean, you can't underestimate the value of that level of experience with an experienced team that has done as many seminars as Dave's team has and done as many around Social Security claiming. So great benefit. Dwell a second too on the cost of it as well. So as Dave mentioned, with all the training and everything that you need to get up and rolling, $195. Frankly, we would pay for it all here at IAMS, given the success that we have had. But we want to make sure that when someone, because it would be too easy to say yes if it was free, right? So we want to have some skin in the game with the folks that are doing it, and that has served us very well. So if this is something that you have interest in, I hope that you'll take a second, hit yes on the poll. There is no shame, nothing wrong with saying, no, I'm not interested. I'm sure Dave would say, just like I would, that it doesn't make sense for you or for his team to spend time if that's not something that you're pretty sure that you want to do. So we'd love to have you to get in the seminar business with us with Social Security claiming. Let us help you along the way. If there is, Dave, this is an oddity. You must have done a tremendous job because we have 0 questions. But I'm guessing that a lot of you out there might want to have some idea of some of the financials around Social Security claiming seminars because they're notably different and less than the regular seminar stuff. So can you go through what your expenses are for each 2 seminar run that you do, Dave? Oh, Dave may have left us. So I will give you some background myself, just so that Dave is generally going to spend about a total of about $3,000 per seminar. And that $3,000 is mostly the mailing cost. I don't think he has to handle any room rent anywhere that he goes for a lot of reasons, because he probably mentioned to you that he's looking at doing it in educational formats like libraries. So he jokes around and says, well, do it in the Omaha libraries, which is where he does some. He had to buy a library card. No big deal. He also uses a local community college's facilities. There is no cost to that for him. So he'll do cookies and coffee and maybe some lemonade. That's it. You don't even want to put it.
Can you hear me now?
I can. You're back.
I am sorry. Well, you know what? Dave couldn't figure out that I had it on mute. My bad. Yeah, my bad. Yeah,
I've given him some idea of the expenses, but
Steve is exactly right. About $3,000, $3,000 to $3,500 for the marketing of 6,000 pieces, and from that we hope we get 35 to 45 folks, and that's like the ones I've got online here for next week. That's exactly what it is. And so what happens is that's your big expense. You have no meal costs, so you might get some cookies and coffee that might run $10 or $15 per night, and $100 for an 800 number. And there's a group that we've used for years and years and years. That's pretty darn good, and they collect all of the phone calls and reservations and so forth. So when we're putting together demographics, we help in the office here. Our mail house, of course, can help because we've got one designated person, Becky, that helps us, and she has for quite a few years now, and she really understands our people and what we're trying to accomplish. So we handhold this all the way through. But is there some work involved on your part? Yeah, there is some. And depending on how much you know about Social Security, there is some reading, but it's easy reading. The books that I picked are fairly easy, and we want you to, the more people you see, the more confidence that you'll have in yourself. Horse's Mouth is an extremely good third-party vendor. Otherwise, we would have tried to do it in-house, but the needs analysis that they do is very impressive, and you can do it right online or with DIS, so they give you kind of the option there. So it's all in all kind of a turnkey system that really has the favor of someone who doesn't have a full grasp of Social Security, but through some reading and learning and coaching with ourselves, we can get you in that position.
And Dave, can you talk a little bit about what your general results have been with your seminars? And I know it varies some, but if you can give us like some basics, and I know you're always really realistic with the guys. I think that's important to say right up front. We're not talking about giving you targets or ideas of fantasy land. We're down in the real dirt of the numbers. So why don't you run through those real quick?
Well, if you're going to go in and put in $3,500 into a marketing system, well, you just don't, from a fixed index standpoint, you got to go in and do probably $50,000, $60,000 with a fixed index just to break even. And so what our goal is, I want, if I can do $250,000 worth of business from each one, I'm pretty darn happy. Now, I do security business also, so we don't have as high a commission. I do some fee-based business also. But you know what? The fixed index, if you're not showing fixed indexed annuities, and that's certainly a mainstay from the insurance part of my business, it's a good topic. It's a good product, no doubt. It's just a topic of talking to the client about, especially with the market, going down almost 1,200 points one day. 1,200 points. So what happens is when you're talking about a product that can't go down any, and I don't mean this to be a little sales pitch on fixed index, but believe me, it's a fairly easy sale when you start talking about people towards retirement and losing that type of money in the market, even though the market's been tremendously good, everything except for the last 10 days. So this is non-product. Whatever you're showing, you can show it from this because we're uncovering the assets to lay out when the best time to take Social Security is. And our transitioning letter, that the attachment that we give to you, it does a very, very good job of what we do, how we do it, and why it's working for us and the coaching clients that we have.
Good stuff, Dave. And thank you all again for joining us. Certainly, if you have some questions that you'd want to ask more on a one-on-one basis, Dave is going to be available to you. If you've hit yes on that poll, his team will set up an appointment and give you a call. So we'd love to have you spend some time with Dave. Maybe what you'll discover is that it's still maybe not something that you want to go forward with, but it's a good thing to explore. And by the number of yeses that we've had here today, most of you agree with that. So thank you all for joining us here today. Here at IAMS, our goal is to put as many good ideas in front of our folks that choose to do business with us as we possibly can and let you choose from among them. I can see from today's results that many of you think Social Security claiming is a good choice for that. We'd love to have you take advantage of that. But if that's not, and maybe the 401k seminar is a good fit, or saw something else today that is of interest to you, I hope you'll give us a call here at the office at 800-255-5055. We really do give a little bit of extra attention to the folks that we know are interested in growing their business and finding different ways to do that and willing to take some time out of their schedule to do that. So by all means, let us know how we can help you grow your business. That's what we're about here at IAMS. We know if you get better, we get better, and our intent is to get better and better every day. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Dave. It's always great to have you with us. Anything that you want to say as we close up?
Nope. Just remember, people who take action are the most successful. So I hope I can talk to you and give you some good insight on the subject.
Great, Dave. Everybody have a great day. Great finish to your week.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.